All right, so day okay, so day 2 of chess set. Hopefully you are at least to where we were before I left or before I was out, and ideally working on things on your own. And so did I put up the explanation? Yeah, okay. So the walkthroughs there, the expectations are there, but we're going to go through and make a couple more. Remember, these are what I'm demonstrating are just examples, not the actual thing that you are supposed to do. You can make it simpler, more complex. You can even go abstract if you want within the requirements, specifically the height requirements and also sort of the base requirements. And just like before, I'm going to do some quick or demonstrate things in the in Inventor. It will just make things easier for how far we are. So at this point, we should have okay, is this all we have right now? Is it's so weird that this really shouldn't be two things. This is what happened with the straight track, if you recall, the straight track from the last thing where it didn't really count the extra piece as the same part. And when we got into the assembly, it sort of ruined things. All right. So let's take a look. So we have as the base. All right. Not really crazy about this base. Well, for the sake of pointing out that it's supposed to be your own, and if yours looks like this, you're not following directions. So the way that we're doing this is the first however many, let's see, what is this? If we edit this sketch, the first, it depends on your design, but however much is going to be identical between the pieces. So this first base, which let's see if we can make this identical. Yeah, to make this exactly right. No, we keep time. We had a single part file or single part studio, whatever they're calling it, as the base that I'm just going to make a copy of to make each part. The first one I made was the pawn, and actually the next one I'm going to make is the bishop, which if you're not familiar with chess pieces, you don't really need to be in order to do this project. But this is my basic base, and it's going to be the foundation, figurative and literal, for all of the pieces, with the first step making a copy of the base So let's go. Can we duplicate? And there we go, base copy. Right click, rename bishop. And so now I'm going to still edit the sketch. The key is bringing it in while it's still a sketch before you do a revolve, so that you don't get the weird 2-part file situation. And if we look at the total height for bishops, regardless of your design, bishops need to be 3.75. So let's go ahead and do full screen. Go back to this one. And I wish my full screen would have my tabs at the bottom. But so I'm in my bishop file. It's important to keep your base original sketch Part Studio thing the same. If you change that, it will make it harder to make duplicates in this shortcut to making them. So in the bishop file, we're going to go ahead and edit this sketch and look at it straight on and do a line from our origin point and go up 3.75 inches. From the origin, not from the top of our thing. And now, well, I'm going to have to do more of the sketch there before, but if you want to see sort of a traditional bishop shape, would be something like this. There we go. Where sort of diagonal slice through it, and we're going to mess around with it to try and get good something that looks good. All right, so in our sketch, let's try to, I'm just going to do some simple design stuff. It doesn't have to be outstanding. Let's do an arc. Kind of looks like this. And then maybe something that looks like this. Then, I don't know. Doesn't really matter. And usually I'd be super in favor of dimensioning everything, but the problem is that it's going to, you're going to have to readjust it. There's no way to be positive what the revolve is going to look like before you do it. I mean, there is, but it's very difficult. Okay, so we choose everything we want to revolve, choose the center axis. And okay, so I definitely need to shrink stuff down there. Let's edit this sketch. Let's bring stuff in. Oh, shoot. And this is why arcs are difficult to work with. There we go. Maybe something like that. Something like that. Let's see what that looks like. There you go. That's a little closer to what we're looking for. Then in order to do that, slice through the middle like this. Let's we need to do a sketch, a new sketch plane on what will be for us the like center axis, the or the center plane that goes through the middle. And so let's go ahead and figure out, it's probably the sketch plane called front. And because we started at the very center of everything, that sketch goes directly through the middle. And it looks like that. So let's start a sketch on the plane called front. And we can just draw our rectangle, but we want, let's try this one. And we'll go like this, and like that. And if we are going for a traditional shape, we don't want it to go too far in or to look weird, which is sort of the whole point. And so right click done with the rectangle, and now we can just rearrange it. The amount that sticks out this way is not critical. It's just going to be cutting air. But the other part is what's actually happening. Oh, there you go. All right, so it's finished sketch, extrude, choose our rectangle, switch it to remove, switch it to symmetric, and through all, and that will make sure that it cuts it all. Hit OK. There you go. There's a bishop. All right, remember, you're doing your own creative design. As long as that first sketch meets the requirements of total height for the bishop is 3.75, and you are keeping a consistent base between all the different part files, which I explained a second ago, which this is the first one, the pawn that has the same base situation. Okay, so that's it for bishop. Let me know if you have any questions.